Hey guys, this is Dr. Pebbles from Infinite Backlog. Welcome to our review of Sonic Origins, a collection of the 16-bit titles from Sonic's history dating from the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive up to the Sega CD. Today, we'll be looking at the one that started it all, Sonic the Hedgehog. The 80s and 90s. An interesting time from the video game landscape, as the home console market was on the brink of dying due to massive amounts of shovelware being produced. In comes Nintendo with their Nintendo Entertainment System, or Famicom for the Japanese audience, with its killer app, Super Mario Bros. The game helped define the console, and the main character Mario would go on to become the mascot of Nintendo. Competing with Nintendo was Sega, who had a nice hold on the arcade market but couldn't quite match up to Nintendo when it came to their Master System. Even its successor, the Mega Drive, or Genesis, was finding trouble matching up against Nintendo's dominance in the market with its current mascot Alex Kidd. They needed a strong mascot to not only define Sega as a whole, but a series to compete with the Super Mario Bros. Series. This project would be birthed by the minds of the designer Naoto Oshima, who proposed a game that would feature a speedy character running through loops, and programmer Yuji Naka, who wanted to program and design a racing game. Naoto approached Yuji with this proposal and he got on board with creating it. With input from various individuals, including President and CEO of Sega of Japan, Hayao Nakayama, and individuals from the American-based Sega Technical Institute, which included Mark Cerny, Sega's answer to Mario was conceived. Enter Sonic the Hedgehog, a new mascot platforming game starring a blue hedgehog and put an emphasis on speed and physics. In contrast to the family-friendly nature of the Super Mario games, Sonic featured more industrial aspects with the themes of nature versus technology. In Sonic the Hedgehog, small animals are captured by the evil Dr. Ivo Robotnik and used to power his robots. It's up to Sonic to put a stop to his plans and free all the captured animals. Even though Sonic went on to be a cultural icon throughout the years of his career, we must ask ourselves if Sonic the Hedgehog was truly good. Let's see what Sonic the Hedgehog gets right in the good. Sonic the Hedgehog's big selling point is his speed, and is incorporated greatly in his platforming. Sonic starts with a slow walk until he starts running at full speed, creating many different opportunities for different styles of platforming. His pinball physics, when he rolls into his ball form, also add to the speed you can achieve, which can take you beyond Sonic's top speed into speeds the Genesis can hardly keep up with. These design principles all culminate in the game's first level, Green Hill Zone, which also serves as a pseudo-tutorial for the game. This level is a large playground with which you can test the various ways Sonic can move in the game, which include burrowing for walls and even launching yourself high into the air. There are also item pickups that are intentionally placed to make players consider how to reach them, since traditional platforming won't work. The level's layout for these sections tells you to use what you've learned and think outside the box to access areas you normally wouldn't. Green Hill is an excellent tutorial level for the game. It will hook players to the game. As you progress through the game, the difficulty is pretty consistent and scales nicely the further you go, until you reach the final zone and acts, which really put your skills to the test. The recent re-releases of the game through the mobile Taxman version, and of course the Sonic Origins collection, the game gets a boost in performance with the game optimized for 60 frames per second and with widescreen support. These additions really help with the reactionary style of platforming, since you're able to see further ahead than the original and can react accordingly. In Anniversary Mode on Sonic Origins, when you hit a checkpoint in a level, you can exit the game, and when you re-enter the game, you can start right at the checkpoint. You can even use coins to retry the special stage if you accidentally fail it. You also have access to not only the spin dash, which was not featured in the original, but also the drop dash, which was introduced in Sonic Mania. One last thing is that both new releases allow you to play as Tails and Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time, since it was not originally possible on the Genesis. Sonic the Hedgehog does a lot right, but it isn't a perfect game, so we'll be looking at what doesn't work in the bad. When Sonic gets hit by an enemy, he not only drops all his rings, but he also gains invincibility frames for a few seconds. This allows players to pick up some rings before getting hit again, because if Sonic gets hit without any rings, he loses a life. There is a nasty bug in the original Genesis version where Sonic does not get invincibility frames when hit by spikes, so if he gets hit by them and lands on spikes again, he instantly loses a life. Thankfully, this bug is fixed in the updated releases. There are also some glitches in collision detection about which you'll notice in later stages when platforming gets more hectic. These glitches can cause frustration when you miss platforms and get hit at no fault of your own. While there are levels like Green Hill Zone that take advantage of the physics-based platforming, two in particular feel counter to that design principle. The second level, Marble Zone, features familiar platforming that is typical for all platformers and has a lot of stop and go gameplay. And then there's the infamous Labyrinth Zone, which not only demonstrates Sonic's one weakness being water, but also being one of the most frustrating due to how much it slows Sonic down. Even the Genesis hardware will slow down in this level due to the number of things on screen on top of the water filter. Even in other levels, if the screen gets too busy, the game will begin to slow down. I experienced some input delay in the original Steam Genesis Collection version compared to other emulators, though this may be due to playing in the 3D bedroom. I mentioned how the Anniversary mode in Origins features coins you can use to restart special stages you failed at. Well, these don't serve as a replacement for lives, as you don't have a live system in Anniversary mode. Even though this is helpful for new players, there is no way to turn this off for players who want to challenge themselves. The only way to play with lives is to play on the Classic mode, which keeps the aspect ratio locked at 4:3. This issue remains consistent with the rest of the games in this collection, which is a shame since the Mobile Taxman version has a live system. It also features level select feature that Origins for some reason lacks for all the games save for Sonic 3. Also, even though it is called Classic Mode, it's not quite the original as Sonic still retains the spin dash technique, which again was not in the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, with all that out of the way, let's continue to the opinion. Sonic the Hedgehog is an excellent 2D platformer that offered a fresh take that you could not get from not only Super Mario but also the Nintendo platform. The platforming and physics are very satisfying that pushes the players to master them to find hidden secrets or reach speeds unimaginable. It's no wonder Sonic went on to have a long-lasting career as Sega's mascot, as the Blue Rodent gave the Red Plumber a run for his money. If you've never experienced Sonic the Hedgehog, then I highly recommend checking out any of the available versions to see his origins. Except the GBA version. We don't talk about that version here. And now, it's time for my rating. I would give Sonic the Hedgehog a Cope out of 10. Thanks for watching, and tune in for part 2 of the Sonic Origins review as we look at the Japanese follow-up to Sonic 1, Sonic CD. If you enjoyed today's review, please check out some of our other videos and subscribe for more. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and our Facebook page. Once again, thank you for watching.